Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday edition of Proline Daily, America's longest-running sports handicapping show, coming to you direct from Las Vegas. NBA and NHL on schedule as the playoffs continue tonight. Baseball as well. We're going to break down the NBA game and one of the baseball matchups. Jim Feist had another winner last night with the Celtics, 12-3, the current NBA run, and 115-66, the long-term NBA run. That's just been amazing. Tonight, though, big feat. Well, he's got the NBA game, but also baseball as well tonight.
That's right. Yeah, he's got a big lineup of baseball, including a 3-pack you can get online.
You know, it looks like it could be a chalky night in Major League Baseball. Of course, at least until the bullpens get involved, and then who knows. But I have a 3-team baseball parlay tonight. They're all favorites, but I think they're also all winners. $35. So the Spurs and Warriors. No Kawhi Leonard in, well, look what happened in the first game. I mean, it doesn't guarantee the same thing's going to happen. But, John, when Leonard went out, from that point on, 58-33, Golden State, and they end up winning the game by 2 points. You know, it really looks like a tough road to hoe right now for the Spurs.
It certainly does. I think the not playing Leonard tonight and letting him rest until Saturday makes perfect sense at all. You know, let's say you're down, the worst happens, you're down 0-2, but you're coming back for the weekend series, 2 games at home. Leonard has a great chance to be healthy. I mean, that's the only way to play this, so I agree this. And the money's been coming in on Golden State from 13 to anywhere from 13.5 to 14. And when you saw him go out, boy, there was just no ball movement at all. There really was nobody who could take charge and do anything with it. There wasn't a lot of movement with the players. Their offense was totally out of sync, an 18-0 run. And what you're going to see tonight is a clash of coaching styles. Got to believe San Antonio, one of the best defensive teams in the league, is going to say, let's just focus on getting back, playing D. It'll be an ugly game, but low scoring. That's fine with us. We might be able to keep it close. And Golden State's going to do the opposite. They really pushed the tempo once Leonard went out and ended up coming back. They're going to do the same thing at home tonight. Keep in mind, the Spurs, 3 times this season, they've been an underdog of over 7 points. They're a perfect 3-0 against the spread. One of those ones was here at Golden State. Of course, it was the opening game of the season. They did win by 29 points as a big dog. So don't count a great coaching staff out like this. Got to believe Popovich is going to make some adjustments and say, look, we're going to be without Leonard, so here's what we're going to do. And I can see some of the backup players playing better than they did in the second half Sunday, which was just atrocious. But another way to look at this game, Golden State pushing the tempo. If they get up by 5 or 10, Spurs are going to have to go up tempo too. When the Spurs are coming off for a loss, they're 16-5 over the total. And keep in mind, the road team is 4-1 ATS when these teams meet.
You know, I think this is going to be an interesting game from one standpoint, and this isn't something you can bet on, but I got to tell you, I would not be surprised if, in a way, I think this might lean me to the under. And here's why. I think the Warriors better be ready for some nasty tactics, or excuse me, the Spurs. Well, the Warriors better be ready for some nasty tactics by the Spurs.
Physical play.
Look, you can say what you want. I'm sure Zaza wasn't trying to injure Leonard. No, I'm sure he wasn't trying to injure him. But the fact is, that's a dirty play. And that was a dirty play because you can see he moved his foot in underneath after Leonard had already gone in the air. And there's I'm sorry, that's dirty. And he should be, to me, that should be a flagrant 2. It should be an ejection, and it should be a suspension. That stuff's got to stop. Okay, I don't care. And they didn't call it on the floor, so they missed that. And that should go to, they have replays for all these headshots and stuff like that. Well, what about this? Because it might not be intent to injure, but it is absolutely outside the boundaries of clean play. And there needs to be a penalty phase put in place for this. I'll be interested to see, particularly if San Antonio falls behind in this game, if there's not some kind of response in kind, if you will. We see retaliation in baseball, and I'm sure, it's obvious. It's more obvious in baseball because guys get thrown at, but you see it in hockey. You see it. You may not see it in football, but it's there. I think you're going to see something tonight, and that is, to me, one of the most interesting aspects of this game. As far as the bet, I would lean to the under. But my strategy here is let the Warriors win this game, and I'm going to take the Spurs in the first half of Game 3, down 2-0 at home. That's where I think you'll see San Antonio really come to play, is in the first half of Game 3. So this will be a patience is a virtue situation for me, John.
And you heard Popovich's press conference. He was not a happy puppy.
He shouldn't be.
No.
It was a dirty play, and I don't care if you're a Warrior fan or not. That stuff's got to stop. Okay. All right. So that's the basketball. Let's talk about what I think is a marquee matchup tonight in baseball. The Red Sox are a disappointing team so far, 19-18 on the season, but obviously the potential to do better is there. The Cardinals have overcome a slow start to play some good baseball. They're now 21-15 and doing rather well in the NL Central. An excellent matchup tonight with Eduardo Rodriguez on the mound for the Red Sox, and not Adam Wainwright, but Lance Lynn will be throwing for the Cardinals. Boston has finally done something I like at third base. I know Marrero's not a hitter, but at least he can catch the baseball. They've got 13 errors at third base already this year, which is absolutely absurd. Sandoval can't play the position, and he's hurt. Jeff Rutledge couldn't catch a cold. I mean, he can hit a little bit, but you just can't sacrifice the defense for the offense there. So even if Marrero's not much of a hitter and they don't have a DH tonight, and that's going to affect their offense, but at least they should play some defense. However, there are some outs in this Red Sox lineup right now, and they haven't been particularly good on the road, John.
Yeah, the Red Sox are a strange team. You look at, if you want to be optimistic, you look at some of the positives. Their on-base percentage is top 5 in baseball. They got the talent. They were the best offensive team last year, and yet there's no home runs from this lineup. And I'm starting to wonder about, remember the thing with Pedroia and the getting in the manager's face and I wonder if there's some internal issues that are surfacing with this team.
I don't know if there are or not, but look, I think I've made this clear, and I think I'm going to be validated as being correct with this assessment. I didn't like the Dave Dombrowski hire as GM, and the reason for it was that he has a complete disdain for prospects.
Yeah.
He's a guy he's a win now type of guy, and I'm not a win now fan. Okay, I think what you do is you build consistent winning organizations, and you're in contention on a yearly basis. And I know the Red Sox have got a ton of money, et cetera, but we've seen over the last several years that you build from within and maybe add a player or two, and that's how you win championships. And Dombrowski, I'm not going to knock him on the Chris Sale trade because Chris Sale is a phenomenal pitcher. He did have to pay an awfully high price, but that's okay because Chris Sale is one of the best 5 pitchers in baseball. But almost every other deal he's made has been that same pattern he followed in Detroit, which is dealing for veterans who I think he completely overvalues and stripping the farm system. So what we're seeing is a Red Sox team right now that I think is in trouble. And I think I honestly think that Dombrowski might get run out of town on a rail if this team doesn't make the playoffs. And there's no guarantee they're going to make the playoffs. The Pomeranz deal was terrible. The Tyler Thornburg deal, how bad does that look right now with their third? What, he didn't know they had a third base issue? I mean, I'm not saying Travis Shaw was Brooks Robinson out there, but he's better than what they had. And meanwhile, Thornburg, who knows when he's even going to pitch, and why you would give up a decent everyday player and good prospects for an 8th inning guy is just beyond me. I think he stinks.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think the Red Sox are in trouble, and I don't want them here either. I know Rodriguez he looks good. He looks really good. But Lance Lynn's tough, and the Cardinals are playing better baseball right now.
They sure are on this 18-6 run. When Dombrowski was hired, I thought it was a very good hire, but I've had second thoughts since then, particularly with that Pomeranz trade. I don't know anybody who said, well, that's a good move for them, given the injury issues and his walk problem suddenly coming to the AL East. And I'm not very high on him or even.
I mean, what did Pomeranz ever do? He had a good half season in San Diego, which is one of the best pitchers parks in baseball, and you give away Manuel Margot No, that wasn't the Margot deal. That was the Anderson. You give up Anderson Espinosa,
Yeah,
who is
hard throwing.
Look, he might not ever pan out. He also might turn into the next Felix Hernandez. I mean, the guy's got tremendous stuff. He's a great product. It was a terrible trade.
Yeah.
And on top of that, Pomerantz was hurt at the time anyway.
Yeah, he was even walking batters in San Diego during that half season when he was actually put up his best numbers. Yeah, I agree. I think the way to look at tonight's game is a lower scoring game because the Red Sox relief pitching can get the job done. And Rodriguez, he's been exceptionally good when he pitches on natural grass. 21-5 and 1 under the total. You mentioned Boston losing the DH for this game. Lance Lynn is a veteran with a 2.75 ERA who's playing very well. And St. Louis has just been on a tear, improving immensely the last month in every aspect of the game. And so I'm going to look at a lower scoring game tonight.
Yeah, Rodriguez, by the way, he's really, that changeup has become a real weapon. And now his low, 93 or so with the fastball, it looks faster than that because of the changeup. Rodriguez, I think he might be the second best starter on this team. I think he might be moving number 2 spot on this team. Porcello's not pitching the way he did last year. So, but it's a dynamite rotation. But you gotta hit the baseball, and we're both Red Sox fans, so we might be going a little bit long on this. But you got to figure out what to do with Jackie Bradley at this point. I understand, he's a good center fielder, but man, that bat it's a liability right now, and that's what makes it tough tonight for the Red Sox. You looked at that lineup. Bradley is making an awful lot of outs. You're probably going to have to go Marrero at third base, and he's not a hitter. Plus the pitcher. How many runs is Mookie Betts going to get? It's either Mookie's going to have to do it all by himself. I think the under is a good call here, John.
Yeah, and this infield defense, which was really sharp a year ago, has fallen off. And then the pitchers not being healthy. And how about the home runs? It's 29th in home runs. What happened to the power?
And 29th in home runs playing in the American League East, which is loaded with, well, not loaded, but there are some really good hitters, parks, in there that are homer friendly. That ain't good. All right, anyway. I should mention, by the way, before we get to the obligatory plugs at the end here, I'll give you a free play first. And also, John, I've got my golf plays up for this week. We'll post those on the website as well. Dustin Johnson is clearly the favorite at the Byron Nelson, but he's plus 400 or plus 450. You can't, you're not going to make money over the long haul taking prices like that in golf. So look for some longer shots. That's what I did this week. Free play for today here on the show. I know it's a big price, but Zach Greinke's in really good form, and the Mets are a train wreck at this point. Another disaster last night from the bullpen. I got Tommy Malone. What's he going to give you? 5 or 6 innings tops, and that's if he's sharp. I think Greinke and the Diamondbacks win this game. So even at the big price, I would look at the Diamondback side. Now, if you want to get free plays every day on a recorded message, the number to call is 888-294-1970.
Yep, and if you want to get them sent right to your cell phone via text, it's very easy. Just text GAME, G-A-M-E, to 25827. And remember, you and Jim both have 3-packs.
And that'll do it for this edition of Proline. We'll do it again on Wednesday. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night.